When you activate and do this work on and in yourself to heal, integrate, and awaken your root chakra, raising that kundalini serpent firepower up through your body to your crown, to be crowned, so that you're sitting on the throne of your power, of your purpose, and of your pussy. Your serpent kundalini energy is wise. It teaches you to embrace what you have activated. And what you have activated is your beauty, is your charm, is your enchantress, is your attractiveness, is your yummy, juicy, delicious goodness that's been hidden in the dark shadows of you, that's been suppressed, demonized in the dark shadows of you. So once you do this work on and in yourself, you learn to embrace your beauty and your magnetism. Why? Because you now realize and have been hipped to the knowledge, to the wisdom that your newly activated attractiveness and beauty will literally shift your destiny by accepting your beauty. By accepting your magnetism, by accepting the fact that you are looking good as hell. Shouts out to Lizzo, okay? You're looking good as hell, girl. You're looking good as fuck. Because you have been doing this work on and in yourself on a physical level and an energetic level. And when you do this work to accept the fact that you are fine, that you are beautiful, that you are magnetic, not just physically, but on an energetic level, because this beauty and magnetism that you're activating and awakening continues to evolve. Why? Because it's on an energetic level. It is a never-ending journey, right? But when you learn to accept the fact that you are indeed attractive, that you are indeed beauty is her name. I'm hearing that. I'm hoping I can make you mine. For another man, steal your heart. Something, that's what I'm hearing. When you learn to accept the fact that you are fine, you are that. You are that. Okay? You're not who you used to be. You don't even look like who you used to look like, what you used to look like. When you accept this newly activated beauty, it shifts your destiny. It shifts you into your legacy. But let me tell you why. Welcome to Alcheminity, because turning pain into power is sexy. And I'm your host and creator of this colony and the many colonies we're building around our globe. Hell, around our galaxies at this point. I am your queen bee, Miss Burgess, if you're nasty, aka the Gypsy Empress, also known as Nova. If you know, you know. Let's get into this message, y'all. Listen. Sorry for the background. That was me on my YouTube, on my laptop. Listen. I want to shout out one of our subscribers here. I'm in the process of pulling her up right now. I think it's Star Soliloquy. If that is correct, give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me look it up. Hold on. Indeed, Star Soliloquy. Shouts out to you, honey. One of our subscribers here on Alcheminity, part of our colony here. Some time ago, I put out a post asking what you all wanted to hear, what you wanted me to dive deeper on for those of us on the journey of activating into our power and our purpose and our pussy. What were the topics you wanted to hear? And Star Soliloquy mentioned quite a few, and her titles are awesome. And I think I may use a few of these, honey, and I'll be shouting you out in each one. But the one that stuck out to me amongst the many that did was how your destiny changes. Star Soliloquy wanted me to dive deeper on how your destiny changes when you embrace your beauty. And we've talked about this before, right? We've talked about this in past episodes, but some things bear repeating. And as we evolve, we get deeper messages, we get deeper insights, right? Because the journey, the evolutionary journey is ever going. It's never ending. And so because it's ever going and going and going, we continue to get these deep insights about things. And so do I. As you know, even Alcheminity has evolved over time. The messages here have evolved over time. The name even changed. Do y'all remember the story? And again, I'm not a religious person, but I take what resonates and I throw the rest away, okay? Throw it away, like the old boy says. I can't remember his name. But there's a story in the Bible where it talks about how God changes your name, right? How God changes your name. I think Saul became Solomon, or Solomon became Saul, or however it goes, y'all. Listen, I don't get all into the nitty gritty of stuff, but those of you that know, you know, okay? You can put it in the comments if you like. But you know generally what I'm talking about, how God changes your name. And the reason this happens for those of us on this journey, the name change comes from the activated you. So as you activate and do this work on and in yourself, your spiritual guides, your serpent Kundalini energy will download, or upload names into your spirit, a name that is your new name or your added name. Okay. So for me, on my Dark Night of the Soul Odyssey, when I went into the shadows of myself, of my body, of my mind, of my life, to figure out what the fuck I am and why I'm even here, right? These names showed up for me. Miss Burgess, if you're nasty, showed up for me, although we know that's adopted from Mother Janet Jackson. But that showed up for me because of my role as a certified sexuality educator, right? But the first name that came to me was the Gypsy Empress. And then Nova came. And then Miss Burgess, if you're nasty, came, right? And so these are all the aliases that I use on my journey, because it's a part of what I've activated in my power from my purpose, in my power and my purpose from my pussy, POOS -E. Don't forget to get your merch. timmeshaburgess.com is where you can find it. Click the Linktree link in the description box. It'll guide you to everywhere I am. So when God changes your name, this is what it means, okay? When you embrace your beauty, your destiny shifts. And what also shifts is your name, because what's happening is you're moving into who it is and what it is you were supposed to become and unbecome in your mission and in your purpose. Think about celebrities, right? A lot of them don't keep, 99.999% of them do not use their legal names on stage. 99.999% don't. Beyonce happened to, but she also, as she did the work on it in herself and continued to do the work to evolve, Sasha Fierce came. Did it not? Right? Kelly from the group, her real name is, what is Kelly's real name? Khaleesi or something else, right? But Kelly is what she uses. 50 Cent and Eminem, right? I'm just thinking, just off the top of my head, Tina Turner, her real name was what? What was Tina Turner's real name? I've seen the movie a million times, but I can't even think of it. But it was something else. Okay. Something, Hattie Mae Pierce or something. I can't remember. Tina, forgive me, girl. We love you. I love you, Tina. But that's not her legal name, right? Turner was her legal married name, but after divorce, that wasn't her name anymore. So anyway, she kept the stage name. All of this matters because as you activate and come into your power and your magnetism, your name changes. Your legacy changes. Therefore, your name needs to change. Are y'all hearing me? When you embrace your beauty, you are embracing your new legacy. You are embracing your new destiny, your activated destiny. Hello? When you activate and do this work on and in yourself, your destiny changes when you embrace what you're activating. When you embrace the fact that you are magnetic. When you embrace the fact that you are fine, that you're beautiful. You're not who you used to be. You don't look like who you used to look like. And for a lot of us on this journey who've had to come through the dark night of the soul, it's been difficult. It's difficult. It feels difficult. It almost feels challenging to embrace the beauty that you've now activated because you've never seen yourself in this light or in this darkness before. Hello? You might have seen yourself close, but there was close but no cigar, right? You've never seen people around you, your family, and people who are your friends or who used to be your friends, like people you went to school with. When they see you, they're like, who the fuck are you? I've never seen you before. You don't look like what you used to look like. You don't look like what you've been through. You don't look the same, right? And so it's difficult to embrace this newly activated you. It can be. Because you, in your mind, you still think you are who you used to be. Because you've been in the trenches so long, right? You've been doing this work on and in yourself for so long. To you, it's just another day. It's just another day of you getting up and doing what you do to be in your power and in your purpose and in your pussy, right? It's just another day of you getting up and going for that hike or sun gazing or earthing or meditating or meal prepping. It's just another day of you getting up and maybe going to work. It's just another day of you getting up and taking care of the kids. It's just another day of you getting up and making breakfast for the family. It's just you going to the grocery store. It's just you. It's just another day for you. But to people around you, you are not who you used to be. You don't look like who you used to be. So it seems difficult for you to embrace this newfound you. Because you've been in the trenches so long, you don't realize how much you've activated, how much you shift. And it also is difficult because you can't even believe yourself that you have evolved and activated so much. Like, some of you don't even recognize you. Like sometimes I look in the mirror. There's been times when I looked in the mirror and I said a couple of things. I've said, hey, well, who are you? It's nice to meet you. I've looked in the mirror and said, hey, I've missed you. Where have you been? I have missed you. It's nice to meet you. Where have you been? Like, because there's a part of me that feels and knows that I have been this before in other lifetimes, past lives, right? I'll look in the mirror and say, hey, I've missed you. Or, hey, you looking good. Damn, you. Like, literally, I will look in the mirror and say, damn, you are looking. I'll turn to the side and rub my body up and down. And I'm naked in the mirror, butt booty naked, right? In the mirror, and I'm rubbing my body. I'm touching myself. I'm squeezing my thighs, right? I move my hands up to my neck, and I put my hands around my neck, and I grip a little bit tight. And I'm like, ooh, damn, you looking good. You looking good, girl. Oh, my God. I see the work you've been putting in on yourself. I see you. Even if nobody else sees you, I see you. Looking in the mirror sometimes, telling myself how much I appreciate me for putting in this work. I'm so fucking proud of you, Timmesha, is what I tell myself. So look in the mirror sometime and just talk to yourself. Hold yourself. Grip yourself. Reminding yourself that you are proud of the work that you put in, because this shit isn't for the faint of heart. It isn't easy or everybody will be doing it, right? When you do this work on and in yourself, you embrace the new beauty that you have activated in yourself. You embrace it because you know it is a part of your mission and your purpose. It's a part of your newfound legacy and destiny. When you embrace your beauty and your magnetism, okay, your serpent kundalini energy is now telling you it's time for you to be in spaces where you're in the public eye, right? Because now you're ready. Your body is ready. Your skin is ready, right? Your confidence is there. You know who and what you are and what you've come to this planet to do. When you activate and do this work on and in yourself, you are becoming more beautiful. You are becoming more magnetic. And so this can shift your destiny. For many of us, we were on a trajectory of just being the mundane, everyday, normal person. But when you do this work on and in yourself and you activate your beauty and your magnetism, all of a sudden you go from being a normal, everyday, mundane, 9-to-5 working person to being on a cover of Vogue, bitch. Okay? I said bitch for emphasis. I just had to say it. It just had to do it. Listen. Right? You went from being a 9-to-5 or customer service rep to now, I don't know, being the face of some vineyard in Italy. I don't know, being on a billboard for a new wine or something. I don't know. I'm just saying, when you do this work on and in yourself and you awaken and activate your beauty and your magnetism, your destiny changes. It shifts because now you've activated something that people want to be a part of. Beauty has always been inspiring and motivating to people. It just is. And I told this story before in 2020, right? The year the earth stood still. right? I don't know if y'all have ever seen that movie, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Same thing. You should watch it. You should watch the 1960s or 1970 version. There's been a couple versions of it, but very powerful insight in that movie. And anyway, 2020, I'm out and about. I went to this famous plant-based kale, vegan kale restaurant here in Atlanta. It's called Tassili's Raw Vegan. And I went to go get me a Dadish wrap, okay? And I'm in line, and the owner comes out. Her name is Tassili, and I didn't know who the owner was. I just frequented this restaurant, but I didn't know who she was. She came out. She had these long locks down to her freaking thighs, her natural, long, beautiful locks. And she comes out of this back part of the restaurant, out of this little room, and I'm just standing there in line, minding my business. And she comes out, and I see her, and she sees me, and she walks up to me, and she says, beauty is a gift. Use it wisely. Beauty is a power, and it's a gift. Use it wisely. And she just walked off. If I ever see that woman again, I am going to remind her of something she told me years ago that still sticks with me today. When you activate and do this work on and in yourself and awaken your magnetism and your beauty, it is a gift, a blessing that is now bestowed upon you by God. Goddess. By the powers that you've awakened within you, that you've activated within you. You would be remiss if you didn't use it wisely. And using it wisely means answering the calling where your beauty would be in the forefront. Answering the calling where your beauty would be highly sought after, highly respected, right? Beauty existing in all of its many forms. Okay, because beauty exists in many different forms, many different shapes, many different sizes, many different colors. You would be remiss if you did not answer the newfound calling of your beauty, of what you've activated and awakened in you. Do you hear me? When you do this work on it in yourself and embrace your magnetism and your beauty, your legacy changes, your destiny changes. Who you attract changes. What you attract changes. Have you noticed that as you've been doing this work on it in yourself, that you are attracting different type of men? For my ladies, for my fellas, you're attracting different type of women. For those of you in between, trans and non-binary, whatever it is, okay? For those of us on this journey as activated alchemists, we are attracting it all. We attract the men, the women, the dogs, the birds, the bees, okay? Lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my way, we attract it all, right? But for those of you that know, for me, just speaking for me, myself, and I'm strictly dickly, okay? I was just born this way, like Lady Gaga said. I was born this way, okay? So have you noticed that as you do this work on and in yourself to activate and awaken your beauty and magnetism, who you attract has changed, it's shifted? Because I noticed, even as I've opened my mind, we got to do some deep dives. I don't know how long this is going to be, but when you do this work on and in yourself, you are activating on all levels, okay? Many different levels. You're activating mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, okay? And so for me, as I was doing this work, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, my ideas about love and life are changing. My philosophies are changing. I developed philosophies. I didn't have philosophies before, hence where Alcheminity came from. My beliefs changed. And so my point of attraction changed, because I used to believe and just operate in the lane that the only people that I attracted were black men. Because that is what I entertained. That is what I was used to. That's what I grew up attracting, right? We stay in this lane, especially as melanin women. We think that just because we've always attracted it, that's what we're used to attracting, that's what we'll always attract. But as you do this work on and in yourself, you start to attract different. And you start to open up your mind to different. You open up your heart to different. You open up your pussy to different. We'll talk about that over on Patreon. Alcheminity. If you haven't become a member, go ahead and do that. Shouts out to my members. For those of you who like deeper, yummy, juicy, delicious, taboo, unorthodox dives, become a member over on Patreon. Let me know you want it deep, and then become a member, okay? Listen. So you open up your mind and you start to attract different, because you know that you can, because you believe that you can, because your mind is different. The way you move is different. Who you are is evolved. It's activated. And so you no longer operate in this narrow lane of living, this narrow way of thinking and believing and existing. And so I noticed that as I was on my Dark Night of the Soul Odyssey and coming out of it and coming into my power and my purpose and my pussy, I attract different types of men from different walks of life. Okay? I'm walking through the airport, or I'm in the grocery store, and I have non-black men come up to me often telling me how attractive and beautiful I am. Now, in the past, I'm sure, listen, they always exist around you, but we don't notice it unless we're at that frequency. We'll ignore it. We'll push it away because we're not at the frequency to accept it, because we've taught ourselves or have been taught that the only thing we should be attracting is someone that look like us, right? From family beliefs, family traditions, you think this is it. And so as you do this work on and in yourself, your ideas change. And as you shift, your frequency shifts, and what has always really been there, you're starting to notice it now. And so your frequency being more magnetic and being more attractive is now allowing those people to come in and prove to you that they've always been in existence, but you just weren't open enough to receive them to receive the compliments from someone that didn't necessarily have your same skin complexion. Even though they've always been there, you just didn't notice them. But now you notice them because you're at the vibrational frequency to notice them. So now they're able to come in and tell you just how magnetic and looking good as hell you are, right? When you do this work on it in yourself and you accept your beauty, your legacy, and your destiny shifts, there has been women, and some of you probably follow them on Instagram, social media, women who talk about the soft life and leveling up. And they do this work on and in themselves, right? They work on themselves mentally, especially physically. They carry themselves different. They dress different. So their beauty changes. Their point of attraction changes. And you know what I'm thinking about? Great example, Eve. The rapper Eve, she's one of my favorite female rappers of all time. She is. She's just my favorite. She's just my favorite. Has been since I was in middle school, really. And you remember how she first came out? She was all hardcore and Philly and, kind of grabbing her crotch and, growling like a bulldog. Then she shifted her energy. She shifted her image. She came more into her feminine energy, her divine feminine energy. Started tapping into that more. Look at her life now. She went from struggling with Tyrone and Marcus them to marrying a multi-billionaire who, by the way, is a non-black man. Now, she is a sister from around the way, from Philly, from the hood, grinding it out, Rough Riders, to being who and what she is now, looking different, walking different. She still talks like herself, though. She still got her Philly swing. She still got her Philly swag. But she's in a more divine energy, which has shifted her destiny and her legacy. Now, yes, she was successful in her rawness and her hoodness. She was successful as a rapper, right? But as soon as she shifted that, it shifted her entire legacy. It shifted the legacy of her family. Because not only is she known as this hardcore female rapper who is grabbing her crotch, now she's known as a legacy. She's created legacy. She shifted the blood. She shifted her generation. She shifted the DNA of her bloodline and those coming after her to say, wow, there's actual wealth and royalty in our family. There's now grace in our family because she's married and how she's culminated her life has created a form of regalness that wasn't there before. She went from being this rough, tough rapper to this regal feminine energy. This has shifted her legacy and her destiny. She married different by shifting her magnetism and her beauty. She even married different. When you embrace your beauty and do this work on and in yourself, your legacy and your destiny changes. Your legacy and your destiny changes. Who you marry or spend long term with, maybe marriage isn't the goal for you, just having a long, fulfilling, happy relationship is. That changes. Who you fall in love with will change. Who falls in love with you shifts, evolves, activates. Who you sleep with changes. Do you hear me? Who you attract changes, which changes your legacy, which changes your destiny. This is how powerful magnetism and beauty is. In all of its different forms, in all of its many different levels. Again, beauty exists on many different levels, many different complexions, many different heights, shapes, sizes. Okay? When you do this work on and in yourself and accept the beauty that you have activated, your destiny shifts. Your career shifts, your jobs shift. You go into, you take on positions and roles and jobs that you probably wouldn't have before because you didn't have the confidence to do it before. I know I didn't. I didn't have the confidence to ever really move into being a flight attendant. I'm a flight attendant now because I got to pay some bills, right? But even besides that, I know that there's a deeper calling and reason that my spirit guides called me into being a flight attendant in the first place. There's been a lot of magical and beautiful things happen since I've been a flight attendant because of being a flight attendant, right? There's a lot of bullshit that goes on with this job. There really is. There's a lot of political rhetoric behind the scenes that is horrible. Let me tell y'all something. Flight attendants are not treated well. We are not treated well by the own company that you work for. By your own company that you work for, you are not treated well. You're not protected. You're not looked out after. There's a lot of shit that goes on that people just don't know. I don't know if y'all pay attention, but their flight attendants are having to strike and march and protest, to not be overworked and underpaid. Overworked and underpaid. Flight attendants are having to force themselves to go to work sick because you can't take any days off because you get points for stuff. I mean, it's really horrible. We don't get paid when we should be getting paid. I'm going off on a tangent, but flight attendants, we don't get paid unless the door closes on the aircraft. If that door's open and we got a plane full of passengers and that door's open, we don't get paid until that door closes and we take off. So that means us walking through the airport, us getting on the aircraft, us doing all of our security checks, all of the time it takes for people to board people. We don't get paid for that. Nope. So I brought that up to say, even with all the crap that is behind the scenes that people do not know that I go through as a flight attendant, that all flight attendants are going through right now. Okay. I know that my ancestors and my spiritual guides put me in position because of some of the work that needed to be done on an energetic level. Me being in position as a flight attendant has empowered not only me, but people around me in so many different ways. I met one of our YouTube subscribers here, my first Alcheminity subscriber on the aircraft. She was, I forget where we were coming from, but she was one of our passengers and she recognized me, and that did something to me. That healed me. That helped to activate me in ways that I can't even imagine possible. And then I was also, I think within my first couple of months, I was deadheading. I was in uniform, and this very famous YouTuber named Eric, AIRRACK. Anybody ever heard of Eric? He flew on one of our flights. I forget where we were coming from that day too. And he put me on his YouTube channel, did an interview. And honey, that video's got I don't even know now, maybe 2 million views, 3 million views, maybe more than that. So I've had beautiful experience. I've been featured on a news article and the website of a very famous company called Aquatique Show. They create the water feature. They created the water features, all like the water dancing and all that stuff. They did it at the Olympics last year. When Serena was coming through on the boat, and they were coming. I forget the name of the water and all the water feature and all that, the dancing and all the water features. That's Aquatique Show. That company that did the water feature featured me on their website because I talked about how beautiful the fountain was that they did in the LaGuardia Airport. I mean, some major powerful things happen. So I bring that up to say, if it wasn't for what I've activated within me, within my power and in my purpose, in my confidence, I would never have had the opportunities. I would never have attracted the opportunities that I've attracted since being a flight attendant. I would never have been able to become a flight attendant to even attract those opportunities had I not embraced the beauty and the confidence and the magnetism that I've activated. Does that make sense? I wouldn't be able to be in this role confidently as I am. With all the shit that we deal with on a daily basis, I wouldn't be able to be in this role as confident as I am had I not embraced the power and the purpose that I've activated within me. Does this make sense? I would never have attracted the guy who came on the YouTube to feature me on his channel had I not embraced my beauty and my magnetism. Had I not embraced, my gift of conversation with a total stranger. This is what you activate when you do this work on and in yourself. Speaking of doing this work on and in yourself, for those of you who know that you need some guidance on activating in your power and in your purpose, in your pussy, your confidence, your beauty, and your magnetism, you are ready for that. Reach out to me. One-on-one exclusives are available. Right now, there is a waiting list. I won't have any more openings until October. Okay, until October. All the information is in the description box. Just email me if you are ready. This is what we go through in our one-on-one time together. Okay. I help you align with your power and your purpose through your pussy so that you're confident in your beauty, so that you're confident in your magnetism, so that you can bring your purpose and your mission to the forefront. It is time. It is past time, y'all. The reason that you're here at Alcheminity is because you know it's time. You've been called here. We've all been called here for this reason. It is to activate. It is to remember why we came to this planet. It ain't just to go to work and to pay bills and pay taxes and die. No, hell no. Hell no. That won't be my legacy. That ain't it for me. And if you're listening to this, you know it's not it for you either. Right? When you do this work on and in yourself and you embrace your magnetism and your beauty, when you embrace how yummy and delicious you are, when you embrace all of this work you have done and continue to do on and in yourself, you literally shift your life and your destiny. Who you attract changes. What you attract shifts. The types of careers that you attract shift. Again, you go from a desk job to being on the cover of Vogue. Because you embrace your magnetism and how fine you are. You go from struggling with Tyrone and Marcus them to living the soft life with Jacob. To living the soft life with, I don't know, give me some other names with Tom, with Carl. Okay, you go from struggling with Marcus and Tyrone and them to living the soft life, right? Because your point of attraction changes when you embrace what you have activated in the dark shadows of you. You're no longer hiding your magnetism. You're no longer hiding your beauty. You're no longer hiding, suppressing, demonizing, vilifying what you've been taught to hide. Right? Many of us hide these things in the shadows of ourselves because we know that once you activate in your beauty and your magnetism, not only do you attract love, but you attract hate. So a lot of you who haven't accepted the fact that you are beautiful and magnetic and attractive because you're doing this work on and in yourself, You haven't come out to the forefront with it because you know that it will attract the hate. You become a target in more ways than one. Yes, you're attracting people that want you, but you also attract people that will despise you, right? You get on the radar. It's like with celebrities. Like, a lot of people despise being in the public eye because it comes with so much responsibility. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Heavy is the head that wears the crown of an enlightened, activated, chosen one, right? A lot of you haven't learned or are equipped with how to handle hate. How to handle being disliked, how to handle being hated on, how to handle jealousy. Yeah. It's not easy. But there is a way. And I teach you that way when we work one-on-one. I help equip you with how to handle hate and jealousy. It's a very powerful motif. Turning pain into power is just that, right? When you shift your perspective about what hate really is and what it's really saying, what it really means, it will empower you to step fully into all that you are. Once you know the truth of what hate and jealousy and all that shit is, you will start to welcome it. You'll start to scoff and laugh because you'll know what it is. You'll also start to feel sorry for those people because you know that really it's a reflection of the work they refuse to do in themselves. You start to kind of feel sorry. First you scoff and you laugh, but then you start to feel sorry for them and you step out even more boldly. And it's interesting how the dynamic works because once you step out and you are unapologetically in your power and your purpose and in your pussy and your beauty and your magnetism, right? Those haters start to respect you because they realize they can't shake you. They're like, damn, she really is this. She ain't stunting me. She ain't stunting the fact that I don't like her. She ain't stunting the fact that I'm hating on her. She ain't stunting the fact that I'm gossiping and making shit up about her and talking about her behind her back. She ain't stunting that shit. She, matter of fact, look like she's shining brighter, glowing brighter. And those type of people can't help but to respect that. You learn this in our one-on-one together. There is a shifted perspective that you must adopt and equip yourself with. So again, a lot of you haven't learned to embrace your beauty because you haven't learned how to embrace hate. Yeah. We're at 37 minutes. I can't believe this went on so long. Spirit, is there anything else you want to say? There's so much. There's so much. I did mention that there's going to be a Patreon version of when you embrace your beauty and your magnetism, who you decide to be with romantically, intimately, sensually, and sexually will also shift and change. I've talked about this in Patreon before, but we'll do another deep dive over patreon.com/Alcheminity. Listen, if this resonated with you, make sure you like this, make sure you share, make sure you comment. Okay, if you're not subscribed here, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. For those of you who've been here for some time, thank you for being here. Welcome home. This is your home. Make no mistake about it. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we've all found each other again. Okay, make sure to donate. Your donations help me continue to bring these messages to you like them. Okay, again, for those of you who are ready to work one-on-one, email me, timmeshaburgess@gmail.com. Again, if you haven't become a member, go ahead and do that over on Patreon. I'll see y'all. I'll speak to y'all in the next episode. Ciao for now. Mwah.